Hi, this is CF Liu from howtofinancemoney.com and askcf.com. Today's presentation or sharing is about a medical card. Now, the medical card is, in my opinion, is one of the utmost important of kind of protection for anyone, regardless of what job you are or what age you are. But it is also the most often overlooked policy, medical card. Now, the thing is, medical card is very important in protecting the wealth you have accumulated. Without this, it makes no meaning for you to accumulate your wealth. Now, I'll explain in this a bit shortly on why I say so. Now, the first question is I want to ask, when is the last time you review your medical card or your medical policy? Now, in our lives, we might have a business or you might have a job to do. So day in and day out, we are so busy, hoo-ha, right? And until we often overlook this one thing, okay? We are so busy working in our job, working on business, growing our wealth, accumulating assets, building our wealth, that we always overlook on our medical card. And when we don't have a medical coverage, a sufficient medical coverage, our wealth that we have accumulated is actually open for what? Open for drainage, meaning that if no matter how hard we actually accumulated our wealth, if a day we fall sick, we need to liquidate our wealth that we have accumulated to pay for the medical expenses. And I don't think anyone wants to accumulate the wealth with the sole purpose of paying the doctors or hospitals. Now, if there's one tip, if your medical policy, you have bought that for more than 5 years or 7 years and you have not reviewed your medical policy for the past 5 years, right? It's time to dig out that policy, dust it off, and I want you to do one thing, is that review your policy and see what is the lifetime limit of your medical policy or medical card. I will actually stress the importance of this in a bit later. Now, what is certain in life? Death and taxes, yeah, this is a saying, but there's one more. Okay, there's one more, and that is rising medical costs. Now, do you agree that everyone will get sick one day, no matter how healthy you think you are? We are young. When we are young, we all have the energy, the health. We think we are invincible, you know. But as we get older, we come to realize that, hey, no matter how healthy you are, there are some things that just we cannot avoid from, having. I mean, if we are fortunate, we might not have any critical illness for the rest of our lives, but for some, this is something that will afflict you no matter how healthy you think you are. Now, if you are working, okay, if you're not in business, you are working, you might say that, okay, the company cover me, pay for my medical bill, Normally, the company, one of the company benefit is that they all have their own group term medical card, so you're essentially covered. Why I need any medical card, individual medical card at all? But you need to check for your company. Does the company cover you post-retirement? Because most of the expenses of medical expenses, hefty or high medical expenses, are incurred post-retirement. How about post-retirement? Have you ever think of that? Now, the thing is, like I said earlier, you can get too busy in growing our wealth, accumulating assets. So is it okay to grow your wealth for other people, right? I know this is, you might say that, hey, this is a stupid question, right? But that's essentially what happens. If you grow your wealth, but you don't have a medical coverage, you are actually growing your wealth for the past few years, for the past so many years, just to use, in the end, just to actually use this kind of asset or money to pay for the doctors or for the surgeon, for the hospital. So you're essentially growing your wealth for the people if you don't have enough medical card protection. Now, I'll give you a rundown of one of the marketing brochure from one of the insurance companies. The fact that leukemia, blood is disorder, that is a very serious. Normally this kind of very serious diseases cost up to like 300,000 for the estimated treatment cost, and this is the treatment cost, which means that those are the expenses that you'll be incurred to actually treat you. So a stroke will cost about 30 to 50,000 minimum. So with this, I think it's clear that medical costs is something that everyone should not overlook. Now, a medical card post-retirement is almost mandatory in this age. Now, even if you are financially free, now why I say so, because even if financially free, if you don't have medical coverage, what happens? Okay, you need to liquidate your assets to pay for the bills, and that could actually end up that you are dropping a status from financially free to non-financially free. And what a waste, right? What a waste if that happens. What a waste of your effort and time and energy for all those past years accumulating your assets. Just in the end, it will end up in the hands of the hospitals. Or even if you have a trust views and trust set up, because you might have a proper estate planning, but what is the use if these assets, okay, in the end has been used to pay for a medical bill? You don't have enough assets already that you want to will away, that you want to distribute to your beneficiary via a trust, if you don't have a sufficient medical coverage. So, even if you're financially free, even if you think you're well enough, I suggest that you would actually want to review your medical coverage to ensure you don't downgrade a status from a very comfortable position to a very uncomfortable position, or to the extent that you have to burden, or you have to depend on your children to pay for your medical bill. Now, the thing is, because independent financial advisory, we know and we see every product that there is in the market, and that includes medical cards. So there is this one excellent, okay, just new at the time of this recording of August 2013, just new, a brand new product in the medical card product in the market that actually beats all existing medical card in the market. I can't really tell you what company it is, because I'm not blatantly promoting this company, but we can represent client to source for the best one. So that's why we actually can recommend what is the best. We know what is the best in the market, so at any point of time you need that, we can say that this is the best in the market. So it's the best is because this particular company coverage, it actually is like a set and subset. It actually covers what is already covered. It takes the best feature of each and every other medical cards from other insurance companies in the market, and it takes the best feature of those and compact that into a one medical card for this particular company. And that is awesome. Now, I'm not going to share the exact features, the quotation of this company. That will be left for members inside my other site, rcf.com. But in this short presentation, I'm going to share with you what are the things, the features, the characteristic of a medical card that you should review and look into. Now, the first thing is that a good medical card, okay, will have a very good or very high entry age. The entry age. So if you don't have, maybe after retirement, and you realize that the medical card is important, or you want to retire, you realize it's important. So let's say if you are 60 years old or 61, so it's not easy to find a company that sells your medical card at this age, because the maximum entry age for most medical card is about 60 years old or 65. Now the norm is about 60 years old, but some medical card are very good ones, 70 years old, and that the best medical card in the market that I'm talking about actually have an entry age of 70 years old. So before you hit 70, you can still buy this card. Of course, it's not cheap, but then again, it doesn't reject your application. I mean, maybe if you are still healthy when you're past 60, you can still buy a good medical card. Not cheap, but at least you can get one. And the second thing that a good medical card should have is the coverage. Okay, until what age it covers you? Okay, you know that life insurance, a whole life insurance policy covers you until age 99 or 100. But the thing is, now for us, a financial advisor, we would say any medical card that is good, we consider good, at least it covers a minimum of 80 years old. And what we want is actually medical card which actually covers until 100 years old. Okay, so that's the second thing. And the third thing is what we call as an in-hospital physician visit. And what it means by that is that you realize if you are being hospitalized before, you realize that the doctor actually only check on you one time in the morning, maybe at 8, 9 o'clock, and then another time in the late afternoon, maybe 5 or 6. Now you say, why is that? Why can't it come more often? Now the thing is, in any medical card, there is these things like what we call as number of physician visits per day. So it's the norm. Physician visit is about 2 times a day. So that is specified in your medical card, in your medical policy, and that's why doctor only come to see you 2 times a day. So that is the thing. That is the thing. That's the bare minimum. And the best medical card in the market I have talked about, it actually doesn't limit for 2 times a day. It limits you by a year. A year means 240 times a year. Wow, that's awesome, right? Because 240 times a year, there's no limit on how many times a day, but the limit is in a year. And I don't think anyone get hospitalized very much, a lot of time in a year. So the best medical card actually has this feature. Okay, the fourth thing is the daily guardian benefit. So normally, normal medical card actually don't provide this, meaning that if you are the parents or the guardian, if your kids get hospitalized, we actually provide you allowance, maybe 100 ringgit or slightly more than 100 ringgit. So one of the best medical card in the market actually provide this. They give you a cash allowance. If the medical card, if your children have this medical card, if you are the guardian, you get, let's say 5 days, and we get like 500 ringgit or 100 ringgit per day. So this is the thing, daily guardian benefit. So not many have this. The card that has it actually is very good. The fifth thing I want to talk about is actually co-payment. Now, what's co-payment? Okay, co-payment is different from co-insurance. Co-payment, to illustrate, I'll give you an example. Let's say today, you are hospitalized and you have a 100 ringgit a day medical card. Now you stay in a hospital, a room and board, which is 200 ringgit a day. So you are staying in a room and board more than what is entitlement for your medical card, which is 100 for daily room and board. You stay in a 200 daily room and board for 7 days. And then assuming that you incur medical expenses of 20,000, that is on top of your daily room and board. Now what happened is, because you are staying in a room and board daily rate that is higher than what you are entitled to, so assuming that your medical card saying that there is a 20% co-payment clause, so meaning that 20% co-payment clause, because you are upgrading your room for whatever reason, you will be subject to this co-payment. So this co-payment will means that you have to pay the difference in room and board. It means you stay for 7 days, and the difference in the room and board is about 100. Now 200 minus 100 equals to 100, right? So this excess 700 is something that you need to pay before you get discharged from the hospital. Okay, and on top of that, this is a lot of people, what we don't realize is that the co-payment 20% also applicable for what? Okay, for your total medical bill. Your medical bill is 20,000. So because you stay in a room and board that is more than what you're entitled to, there's a 20% co-payment, meaning that out of the 20,000 of medical bill incur, you need to pay 20% of it, which is equivalent to 4,000. So in total, you need to pay on your own, from your own pocket, 4,700 before you get discharged from the hospital. Now, so that is the thing about co-payment. So I would say that majority of the medical card, you have this co-payment clause, so discourage you from staying in a room and board which is higher than what you're entitled to. If you don't want to kena this co-payment, then you buy a medical card which has a higher room and board rate, right? That's how insurance company earn money. So but really, I mean, really a not so good medical card will actually say that these co-payment, they have a no upper limit. A good medical card will have say, okay, the co-payment is 20% of your incurred medical bill, or a maximum of 1,000. So no matter what, the co-payment is limited, capped by a maximum 1,000. Well, that is for a very good medical card, and I can share with you a few of this kind of medical card. But the best medical card in the market I want to share with you is that the best medical card in the market do not have this co-payment phrase, meaning that if you stay in a room and board higher than what you're entitled to, you only pay for number 1, the difference in room and board. Okay, there is no number 2, there's no co-payment clause. I mean, isn't that great? I mean, that is actually awesome. And the word noting is that it's a deductible card. This will be very applicable for working people. Like I say, when a lot of people actually, they say they don't want to buy another medical card because they say company covers. But what if, okay, I want to ask you, if you think like that, this is not wrong because you want to save costs. But what if after retirement and your company does not cover? So what is covering you for your medical expense post-retirement? And you have like 55 until 80 years old, okay, 20 odd years to actually cover your medical expenses. If you are building your retirement fund, if you don't have a medical card after retirement, then you better factor in a lump sum amount to cover for your medical bill for the next 20 years after retirement. That is a reality. And the thing is, this deductible medical card, how it works is that you actually buy into the medical card before you retire. And that's pretty cheap because what we call as these are one of the products by one of the company is that a deductible medical card will say that, okay, if your company coverage is up to 15,000 a year, say that H&S limit by employer, that's my company. So you buy a second medical card that only covers you if your medical expenses exceed what your employer cover, more than 15k. Then this is the coverage, right? Before retirement. But after retirement, when your company employer coverage stops, then this card automatically becomes a full medical card. It means that it's no longer a deductible medical card but a full medical card. So you actually have a medical card after retirement to cover a medical bill, which is good. And before you retire, which means that if you still have, when you still have your employer to cover you for your hospitalization, for you yourself and your family, so at this point of time you'll be paying like very cheap premium just to maintain this card. Yeah, that's the maintenance card. And of course, people ask me, can I buy this medical card after 55? I mean, you can if you don't want to buy this deductible card when you are young, because after 55 you make sure your body is in a tip-top condition. If not, after 55 you want to buy, your body is not in tip-top condition, sorry, insurance company don't want to sell you. So essentially you don't get any medical card to cover your medical expenses after retirement. So this is some of the slides that I actually take out from the brochure of this particular medical card. So the deductible level, it will actually coincide with your existing medical coverage provided by your company, or it could be you already have a full card, existing medical card, but the coverage is not that enough in terms of annual lifetime limit, so you want to top up. So this would be a suitable time to buy the deductible medical card too for a very cheap premium. And of course, you can also determine that by the amount you want to self-insure. Let's say if you say that, okay, I'm comfortable with paying my own medical expenses if it's less than 2,000. Okay, you can do so, but you say that, okay, for expenses more than 2,000, I want some insurance. So this is exactly the plan that you want to get. So that we talk about your wealth accumulation process is not interrupted by this unexpected medical expenses. So the sixth thing is about emergency evacuation benefit, meaning that if you are any emergency happen when you are overseas, this best medical card will actually have a allocation to cover for the expenses for you to be transported back to or evacuate back to Malaysia for treatment. So again, number 7, lifetime limit. So lifetime limit is very important. Think of it as like credit card. Okay, credit card, maybe you have a credit card limit of maybe 10,000, 20,000. Once you hit that limit, you can't swipe your credit card anymore. So this is the analogy when it comes to lifetime limit of a medical card. I would say that at the time of this recording 2013, the minimum of any lifetime limit, we talk about 1 million minimum. Okay, nothing less than that. If anything less than that, 1 million is bad. So that's why I say that it's time, very important, get back your policy, dust it off, and see what is the lifetime limit if your policy has been enforced for more than 5 years. And of course, a good medical card nowadays, they actually also have this feature, number 8, the last but not least, but it also has the coverage to Brunei and Singapore, which is very common. If you are in Malaysia, it's if you are working in Brunei and Singapore, you might want a medical card that also covers hospitalization and medical expenses incurred, the inpatient type incurred over in this country. And the best medical card or good medical card will actually covers this besides Malaysia. So that is about it. I'm CF Liu from howtofinancemoney.com and askcf.com. Now in AskCF, I'll actually give you more just a no holds bar kind of thing, show you the quotation of this best medical card that is there in the market, how much it costs and things like that. Reason I cannot show you here is because a product provider will actually, if they see this, provider will actually they will shop to see if we were to go through some of this quotation for this product provider. So again, this is CF Liu from rcf.com and howtofinancemoney.com. If you have any questions, you can post your questions below in this post. I'll see you in the next video.